What's happening? Are you guys feeling good this morning? I want you to look at somebody and say, this is going to be your best year yet. Come on, do you believe that? Well, welcome to Bethany, everybody. I'm Pastor Jonathan. I'm pastor here, and we're so glad to be able to host this. And we just want you to know how much we love you, and we pray for you. We realize that what you do is a calling, and many of you have chosen it because you want to have influence in the lives of young people. And so we want you to know we pray for you constantly, our staff, our volunteers. We pray for you. And I'd like to open us up in a word of prayer. I want to just honor every person that's here, especially the leadership, the new superintendent. I'm so excited about his leadership, Mr. Warren Drake. How many of you guys appreciate Mr. Warren Drake and the new direction? So for anybody that's in any form of leadership, it's important to ask for God's leadership in our life because we desperately need His leadership. And the moment you begin to think you can do it on your own is the moment you begin to fail. And so we're going to start off today by just asking God's leadership. And the verse that I had in my heart was from the Bible book of 1 Peter chapter 5. And it says that all of you should clothe yourselves with humility towards one another because God opposes the proud but shows favor to the humble. Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand that He may lift you up in due time. Admit your dependence upon Him, and He will raise you up. Cast your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. So let's pray, and we'll dedicate this day. Admit our dependence upon God. Father, I just submit this entire group to you and to your wisdom. Father, I pray right now that you would give them your wisdom, the mind of Christ. I pray you would give them your protection over their lives this entire year. I pray you would give them grace to lead. I pray they would be phenomenal teachers and phenomenal examples. I pray for our city. I pray for East Baton Rouge Parish. I pray that our students would be raised in the fear of God. I pray that they would be raised, God, in knowing knowledge. I pray for the leadership. I pray for every teacher that's here, that you would bless them. I pray for their encouragement. I pray they would be encouraged. And we give you the thanks. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning. Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Good morning. There you go. Now we're talking. My name's David Tatman. I serve as the president of the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board, and I want to welcome you here this morning. We're going to start with a presentation of colors, but before we do, I want to take a moment to memorialize somebody who we lost last night. Representative Alfred Williams passed away last evening. As many of you know, Representative Williams was a former school board president. He worked tirelessly in this district for children. He worked tirelessly in the legislature to protect children and to forward this district. And I would like to take a moment of silence in memory of Alfred Williams. Thank you. We will now have, I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We want to thank you for being with us this morning. Thanks to Pastor Stockstill and the Bethany family for their outstanding hospitality and the way they've welcomed us here today. Let's give them a hand. I am excited to welcome you back on behalf of the entire East Baton Rouge Parish School Board. In just a few minutes, Superintendent Drake will share with you his vision for the 2015-2016 school year. I want you to know that as a board, we are energized and committed to one team, one mission as we look ahead to the possibilities of the upcoming year. But today, I am here to talk to you about the foundation that we have in East Baton Rouge Parish Schools. There is a strong tradition of excellence. Mr. Drake, along with each one of you, are charged with continuing that strong tradition and building the groundwork that is already in place. Over the years, we've had national merit finalists, semifinalists, achievement finalists, and scholars. In 2015 alone, we had 33 students achieve this honor. Our graduates have gone on to attend some of the most prestigious institutions of higher learning across this nation. They have represented us proudly and been well prepared by their time in our schools to compete with their peers at the university level. AP scholars, U.S. presidential scholars, Gates Millennium Scholars, all of these prestigious accomplishments are routinely earned by our students. Our school district has shaped the lives of many of our current civic and community leaders. The names behind me represent the past of our school district and the future of our community and state and even world. Great legal minds, advocates for important social issues, political candidates for statewide and even national offices all got their starts in the halls of the East Baton Rouge Parish School System. Business leaders, industry leaders, medical professionals, Scientists and engineers, for many of them, our programs provided the spark that their young minds needed to set them on a path of future success. Pioneers in the arts, the film industry, musicians, creative visionaries, all beneficiaries of a diverse selection of courses, clubs, and enrichment experiences. They make our world more fun and more rich, capturing the unique culture that is South Louisiana and spreading it across the globe. Our athletic programs have produced world-class athletes, competing on the professional level throughout many sports. They practiced their jump shots and got a few extra plays in on our fields of East Baton Rouge Parish. They were mentored and supported by our coaches and our teachers and our administrators who believed in them and saw their potential. I am grateful that we have with us today representatives from many of our alumni associations. I want to thank them for being here. They help us maintain the link of where we have been and where our former students are going and what they are achieving. Thank you all for that. As for educators, the fruits of your labor are often not seen for many, many years to come. The work you do today will be seen in years and decades later. The next generation of great thinkers and doers will walk the halls of the East Baton Rouge Parish School System tomorrow. They have a lot to live up to, and you have a great responsibility. We're building on a tradition of success as we embark in this new school year. One team, one mission, embracing our past and looking forward to our future. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Superintendent Drake to come up.
Baton Rouge area is having something of a renaissance right now. We're actually at this moment of economic explosion where the community, the region, is performing among the best of any regions in the country right now.
And I believe that all the different efforts that we've done in Baton Rouge has really made this city stand out, not only in Louisiana, but across the nation.
We know education is an important, if not the most important, key element in making a great city in today's global environment. And in fact, when you take a look around the country, most of the best cities to live in are cities with great education systems like we have.
Every person has a part in the future of our children in East Baton Rouge Parish. There's no world more important than what we do, and that's educating children. And we're trying to make an environment in that classroom that's so good, that's so comfortable. Our kids will understand that this is the place I want to be, this is the place I need to be, this is the place I'm going to be.
Everybody that works for the school system has to understand one thing, that they're all working together to make our children better.
One team, one mission. It means that each person is just as important as the next in educating our children.
It's one team that has to come together to make a difference.
We don't have a moment to waste. There has to be a sense of urgency amongst everyone in this school system.
It's a thankless task, but they look after our children, and they look after the future of Baton Rouge, the future of Louisiana, and the future of this country.
We're all pulling together to really drive towards some future that is going to be transformational for where we are in the Baton Rouge area.
I'm really excited just to see the public education system progress. I really think that this year is going to be the best year that I've ever seen.
We have a tradition of excellence in East Baton Rouge Parish. I'm looking forward to adding to that tradition this year.
I am more excited than ever for the direction of the district today than I have ever been.
Our students are ready, our parents are ready, our teachers are ready. It's so exciting to start the school year, and I can't wait to add to the great tradition in East Baton Rouge Parish. Was that awesome or what? I want to thank everyone who had a part in that. That happened very quickly, very quickly. I'll try to get situated here. We, this is a very special time and a very special place that we're at right now, and I just want to thank everyone for being here. I think this place seats 6,000. I think we have 6,000 plus in here today, and that's okay. That's okay. I want to thank the pastor, Jonathan Stockstill, for his words and for allowing us to be in this facility today. I really appreciate that. I want to thank Mr. Tatman as president for being the master of ceremonies here and greeting us. And we have a great school board, I will tell you. We have a great school board, and I want to introduce each one of them individually. Of course, you met David Tatman, our board president. Barbara Freiberg, our vice president. Mark Ballou, District 1. Verita Lee, District 2. Dr. Kenyetta Nelson-Smith, District 3. Tarvold Smith, District 4. Evelyn Ware-Jackson, District 5. Jill Dyson, District 6. And Connie Bernard, District 8. This is an important day in the history of East Baton Rouge Parish Schools. We're beginning a new school year with a new theme, one team, one mission. Tomorrow we will welcome our students back, all 43,000. My sister asked me last night, she came in town and said, who all will be there tomorrow? I said, our teachers. And she said, okay, that's good. I said, all 6,000 of them. And she went, what? Yes, we're all here today, not just teachers. Everyone's here today. So, but we have a lot of dignitaries and a lot of people here who are here to support you. So I'd like to thank them right now as they are here for you. We have a big responsibility on our shoulders. First of all, our Mayor, Kip Holden, I want to thank you, Mayor. Stand up for being here. We have representatives from a lot of the different faith-based communities. Where are you? Please stand. We invited you. Please stand. We have members of law enforcement here. Law enforcement community, please stand. We have our legislative delegation here. Please stand. All of the Baton Rouge legislative delegation, please stand. Chancellor of Louisiana State University, Dr. F. King Alexander, thank you. Chancellor of Southern University, Dr. Ray Belton, thank you for coming. Chancellor of Baton Rouge Community College, Dr. Dennis Michaelis, thank you for coming. President of Southeastern Louisiana University, Dr. John L. Crane. Our Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, where are you? Please stand. Bessie board members, thank you for coming. Representatives from the East Baton Rouge Parish Foundation, Janet and her crew, where are you? Thank you all for Ted. Appreciate y'all coming. We have the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, John Spain here, and Liz Smith with the Baton Rouge Area Chamber, please stand. We have, of course, members of the media, and as Mr. Tatman said, we have many members of the alumni associations. So all of our alumni associations, if you would stand, I think we may have done that, alumni associations of the schools in East Baton Rouge Parish. And I would like to introduce my family. My family has come today, my wife Kathy, daughter Claire and her husband Stevens McVeigh, and my sisters Diana Drake, Deshae St. Pierre, my brother Kerry Drake and his wife Jane, and friend Sietta is here as well. So thank you so much for that. But I also want to recognize a lady, Miss Annabelle Armstrong, who has been, stand up Annabelle. Annabelle Armstrong. She has been a family friend for about 50 years. She worked with my mother. My mother worked at the LSU Union doing a lot of different things and traveling, and she worked with my mother there, and my mother passed away 10 years ago, and she just is still that connection to my family, and I'm so glad you're here. But today we have the most important people in Baton Rouge in this room. We have our employees. Let's hear it from you, our employees. I love it. I hope you have a seat. If you don't, we'll find one for you maybe. If not, we may not have another seat. I don't know. This is the first time most of you have heard from me. And so I'm going to take you on a history tour a little bit today so you can know how passionate I am about East Baton Rouge schools and what we're going to do in the East Baton Rouge Parish school system. I grew up in Homer, Louisiana. Not Homa, Homer, the center of the universe, Claiborne Parish, the first LSU All-American, Gaynell Tinsley, Homer graduate. There were 5 children in my family. My brother, who lives in El Dorado, is not here today. The other ones are here. 5 children. Most are here today. We moved to Baton Rouge in 1964 from Homer, and because my father was looking for work. He was a World War II pilot, flew a P-47 Thunderbolt, had many, many missions in World War II. His campaigns were North Africa, North France, and the Ardennes. And for those history teachers, know the Ardennes as the Battle of the Bulge. But that's not the story. The story is that he ran away from home and learned to fly in East St. Louis, Illinois, at Parks Air College. There you go. That's what I'm talking. It was a part of Washington University at the time, I believe, but it was Parks Air College in East St. Louis, Illinois. His father was an engineer. His whole family were engineers. They were professors at universities, including the University of Florida and others up in the East. They were brilliant engineer people, but he didn't want to do that. He ran away from home. He was an Eagle Scout. And after the war, he never really found his stride. He really just couldn't find what to do. And so in 1970, my parents were divorced. And I didn't see him much after that. And I know I'm choking up a little bit, but it brings back a lot of memories. But he met my mother here at LSU. He was training at Harding Field, which was Baton Rouge Airport, flying those P-47s. She was a cheerleader at LSU, okay? It was a perfect match. You got a war hero and a cheerleader. And he used to tell me that he said, Warren, we would go out to Fleur de Lis to get a pizza. Think about it. And he would say, Fleur de Lis was way, 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 way out of town on a dirt road. We know we've changed, don't we? My mother was a travel director at LSU. My father was gone now. I don't know where he went. Didn't see him for a long time. She worked at LSU. She was the travel director there, traveled all over the world. Us kids had to do a lot of things ourselves. We learned to cook and sew and clean and do what we had to do. No cell phones. You just did what you had to do. When Camille hit, I was in Biloxi for 3 days. You know, went to California for 2 weeks. You just sort of do your own thing. So we had to learn to do for ourselves. But I want to talk about teaching and leading from the heart a little bit. And you may be wondering why I'm telling you these things, because let me tell you, all of us have stories to tell about successes, struggles, hardships, disappointments, but all of us, it's how we respond to that, right? It's how we respond to that, and it's also the value we place on what we do and those people that help us along the way as we get where we're going. That's what it's about. You're going to get knocked down sometimes, and you just have to get back up. So the reason I'm telling you this is that I want you to understand that our students face challenges. They face hardships. They face barriers to learning, and our job is to remove those barriers. That's what we're going to do. We're going to remove those barriers. In the book by Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last, he talks about a world where almost everyone wakes up inspired to go to work, feels trusted and valued during the day, and then returns home feeling fulfilled. That's not a crazy notion. That's not a crazy idealized concept. Today, in many successful organizations, and many of them, these leaders who've come to visit with us today have those organizations. They are creating environments in which people naturally work together, do remarkable things. So today, that's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to work together. Create an environment in your classroom. Create an environment in your school that is so good our children want to be there. I will have very high expectations for you. I promise you that. And you should have high expectations for yourself. I don't want to talk about what we can't do. I want to talk about what we are going to do to move this district forward. I don't want to hear negative. I want to hear positive, because we can do it. I promise you, we can do this. I have a lot of confidence in you. And as a team, we can exponentially help our kids grow. This is not about the title we have. Our title does not determine who we are. Every one of us is a leader. And this one team, one mission, that's what it's about. Every one of us is a leader in some way, which means we influence others every day. One team, one mission, all together. I expect all of you to encourage and positively influence our kids every day, no matter the job you have. I expect you to be at your best every day. Dr. Martin Luther King probably said it best when he talked about the street sweeper. Let's listen.
What I'm saying to you this morning, my friend, even if it's a lot to be a street sweeper, going out and sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures, sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music, sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry, sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush, can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are.
That is so awesome, isn't it? You know, that's what I'm asking you to do. Each one of us is called to do something. Do it well. Do it the best you can. Bus drivers, you're the first. Where are you? Come on, bus drivers. Look, this morning, my bus driver this morning was Topeka. Where's Topeka? Where is she? She drove. All right, there you are. Thank you, Topeka. I got on the bus, and she started going where I thought she was not supposed to go, and my instinct was to tell her what to do, and I said, just shut up, Warren. And we would have been lost had she listened to me, but you got us here. But I rode the bus with Westdale Middle School today for a couple of reasons. One, it's the only East Baton Rouge Parish school I ever attended. Yes. And Mr. Couvion this morning, unfortunately, showed me what the yearbook in 1964, 65, it was not a pretty sight. But I did visit with him yesterday, and I walked through the school, and I said, Mr. Couvion, this brings a lot of great memories and not so good memories back, because I got paddled in that room, and I said, and I got paddled in that room right there. And then, oh my gosh, this is the industrial arts. I got paddled a lot of times by Mr. Barrios there. Mr. Barrios. Bus drivers, you set the tone for the whole day. You set the tone. Your job is difficult. I appreciate what you do. I really do. Teachers, try teaching an hour of class with your back to your students. It doesn't work. It does not work. That's what they have to do every day. And drive. It's a tough job. Cafeteria workers, where are you? Your interaction with our kids is critical. It's just a conversation. Think about it a minute. It's a moment of peace for them. They can walk into the cafeteria. They can get some food. They can sit down and visit with their friends. It's a moment, it's a different moment in a school setting. That's an opportunity for you to say, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? Interact with them. Develop a relationship. We need to do that. Secretaries, clerks, all of those people in the schools, y'all are the front line of our defense in that school. Secretaries, clerks, everybody, where are you? Greet our visitors with a smile. If they say, how do you get there? Get up and show them how to go the extra mile. You know, we can exist or we can pursue excellence. We have a choice. We're existing now. And we're doing pretty good in a lot of places. But can we get better? Absolutely. We can get better, and we will. Teachers, you are a foundation. Where are you? Let's hear you. Teachers. Our business is teaching and learning. That's it. Everybody else, everyone else, is support for you. That's just the way I believe. Superintendent and everybody else is support for the teacher and the principal. That's where the rubber meets the road. You know, it's vital that you develop a rapport with your students. You know, you don't have to be perfect. And when you make a mistake, tell them you're sorry. I made a mistake. But they will expect you to tell them what to do. Put them in a seating chart. You are their leader. You are their boss in that classroom. They expect you to tell them what to do. So tell them what to do. Be the leader that I know you are. Attend their performances. Be a part of their school lives. You know, we can go to school and go home, or we can have a school experience. You know what I'm talking about. You can have a school experience with these kids. Attend their performances, their games. Let them know you care. Be a part of their school lives. We're not here to fail students. We're here to help students learn. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. We're not here to help fail students. We're here to help students learn. We are doing the most important work in the world. There's no question about it. But we can't do it alone. I don't want us to simply exist. We're already doing that. I want us to pursue excellence, and I've mentioned that. It is harder to do that. It's harder work to pursue excellence. It is. We all know that. But the value you will get from that will last a lifetime. At one point, we're all going to retire. And we're going to look back and say, what is my legacy? What did I achieve? You know, I am a teacher. That's what I do. I am a teacher. So I want to hear from everybody in here differently. I want to hear from every elementary person, no matter what you do. Elementary, let's hear you right now. All right, how about the middle schools? Let's hear you, middle schools. All right, how about the high schools? Where are you? I love it. People ask, why did you come back? Well, I'll tell you. This is a calling for me. What we do is a calling, whether you think so or not. We have a calling to help children. I feel God has placed me in this position to help kids. It's not about a title. It's not about anything else. We're here to help children. We're called to help children. My wife spent her entire career in East Baton Rouge Parish. She was a dietitian right here. You know. Graduated from Southeastern University with a dietetics degree and worked 30 years in East Baton Rouge Parish. All of my kids, my oldest daughter, Lauren, who's not able to be here today, graduated from Tara High School in 1997 when I was principal there. Go Tara. Go Trojans. Claire and Adam, and Claire's right here. Claire and Adam both attended EBR schools through most of their careers before we moved to Zachary. And they got on the bus every morning at our house in Baton Rouge, and they went to transfer, and they got on another bus because we were both educators. We got up really early. And they walked to the end of the driveway, and they got on the bus, and they went to transfer, and they went to their school. That's what we did. They grew up on Tara and Broadmoor football and basketball games. Every Friday night they were riding the bus with somebody, either the dance team, the cheerleaders, the football team. Well, Coach Price wouldn't let them get on the football bus, but he was sort of like that. But they were raised doing that. This is where I spent most of my career. I started teaching in 1974 at Glen Oaks Junior High. I taught there 9 years and loved every minute of it. You know, I love East Baton Rouge Parish schools. I want to see them get better. We're either moving forward or going backward. There's no such thing as a status quo because other people are getting better. So we have to get better every day. That's what we have to do. And let me tell you what the price for not getting better is too high. We see the consequences of our students on TV in the evenings, what happens to those students that we don't take care of. We cannot let that happen. You know, think about the difference a child will make when they know you care. They know that you attend their events. They know that you have a relationship with them. You're mentoring them. That's what I want. I want teachers and bus drivers and custodians and secretaries and everybody, paras and everybody, doesn't matter who you are, to relate to those children. Because when they know you care, they will go beyond the call of duty to get the job done. And most of all, believe it or not, they will follow your lead. You are their leader. They will follow your lead. So why am I telling you all this personal information? Well, because I am your leader. I am the cruise ship captain. We're on the cruise ship, okay? We got to have fun too. School has to be a fun place to be. It has to be a fun place to be for kids. If they have fun, they will want to be there. You know, and I know it was hot riding the bus this morning. It's going to probably be hotter on the way home. Big deal. We survived. And guess what? Our kids are going to be riding it twice a day for 182 days starting tomorrow. You know? I think if they can do it, we can do it. That's okay. I think that's okay. Last night, a friend of mine texted me. You know, we're doing a lot of things in East Baton Rouge Parish. We're doing a lot of things. And not everybody likes everything we're doing, and that's okay. That's okay. We're going to do what's right for kids, right? And here's what he texted me, and I thought it was very profound. And it's from the Motivation Manifesto. Let us remember that we must be measured by actions alone, not intentions. What we intend is of little importance when judging our character. Only action reveals our true selves. Only action moves us to mastery. Think about that a minute. Action. We can walk the walk or talk the talk. Now, that was sent to me by Rusty Price. Where's Rusty Price? Are you in here, Rusty? I know you're over here somewhere. Where's Rusty? I want Rusty to stand up. Rusty Price has graduated from Broadmoor High, and has worked at Broadmoor High for more than 40 years. Okay? But in 1968, he spent a lot of time in Vietnam, and he was wounded 3 times. At Khe Sanh, one of the worst battles of the Vietnam War, protecting our country. Thank you. He's about 6'3" and about 245, and he's the Marine you used to see at Arlington Cemetery after the war. You know the one I'm talking about? That's Rusty. He's given it all, folks, for our country, for this school system, and for everybody. I trust and I really appreciate people like that. It's just an example of the people we have in East Baton Rouge Parish. I want to recognize Harvey Adger. Where's Harvey Adger? Harvey, where are you? All right, Harvey Adger, right back there. Harvey Adger, when I started teaching at Glen Oaks Junior High in 1974, he was teaching at Glen Oaks Junior High. And when Glen Oaks High, but when we had the faculty basketball games at junior high and the high school, we always won. Because he'd score about 40 points from 50. But that's not the story. Harvey Adger, and I don't want to embellish this, but I'm going to tell the truth and the whole truth. He has been working 44 years at Glen Oaks Junior and Glen Oaks High School and has missed one day of work. Thank you, Coach Adger. Let me tell you, and he didn't want to be absent that day. I think something happened. He was probably on a stretcher, you know. They used to wheel him in on a stretcher. I mean, the man never missed a day of work, and he'd be there. He was the first one there and the last one to leave. He's an amazing guy. It's just like Rusty Price. We have a lot of you like that in this system. I know we do. These are two guys I've known for 40-plus years. But I know that we have many more examples just like you. I've always had two sayings. The two sayings I've always had and I've lived by, it's not about the programs, it's about the people. This is a people business, okay? It's not about the programs. The second one is, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know? This is a people business. We'll value you and we'll give you what you need to be successful. But we're going to hold you to a high standard. We all have a high standard to live up to, including me. I will be harder on myself than our board could ever be. I know that. I want them to expect a lot from me because I expect a lot from me. And these community leaders who are here with us today, they expect a lot from all of us because this community cannot survive without us. We're all in this together. In Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last, he says that very few people get to say, I love my job. I believe that. It's because there's so much cynicism, paranoia, negative, and self-interest in today's world instead of trust and cooperation. You know what I'm talking about. The naysayers. I don't want to hear what we can't do. I want to hear what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. You know, I want you to feel valued for what you do because I do value what you do. But at the same time, I want you to have a culture of teamwork. We all have to work together to succeed. Most of you will be in the classroom, but you're isolated, but you're not alone. You've got to seek out that help. And this is what I really want to emphasize. What any one of us does individually reflects on all of us collectively. I mean, the realistic piece of this is whatever any of you do, I'm going to get all the credit and all the blame. I mean, I may not even know about it. I'm going to try to know about it. So you talk about that little classroom, and then you build out. What any of us does individually reflects on all of us collectively. We are one team, one mission. We will not be a compliance-driven organization. We're going to be a support organization. We want to catch you doing something good, not something bad. And that's the way I want you to be with your students. I want you to catch them doing something good. Your school leaders are going to share with you something called principles of performance. These are expectations that we are going to operate by. They're not hard to do. Most of us do them every day. It talks about common courtesy, respect, dressing professionally, taking care of your space. And I want you to bring that down to your students. If every student would just take care of that little space right around them, just think how great our schools would look all the way around. Folks, we are a $450 million organization. Think about it, $450 million organization with 6,000 employees. So I want you to think about what a $500 million or $500 million corporation looks like. Think about it. That's the biggest corporations in the world. What would it look like when you walked into one of those corporations? That's the way I want our schools, our school board, and all of our facilities to look like. That's the way I want them to look like. So we should model what we aspire to be. Teachers, your job is very difficult. I know that. You're going to be asked to manage a classroom, teach from bell to bell. You're going to be asked to sponsor clubs, attend events, stand at your door to greet kids, prepare a great lesson, and reteach when necessary. And we're not here to fail students. We're here to help students learn. And here's what I'm going to say about that. Warren Drake's in class, he scores a 69. Mr. Tapman's in the same class, he scores a 70. Mr. Tapman's a success, Mr. Drake is a failure. I don't believe that. I think they need to be able to read it, write it, speak it, research it, test it. All of that is a piece of the whole. That's what we're looking for, not a 2-week. And I'm going to tell you, when I was teaching history, I used to do that. You'd have a lesson, you'd teach it, test it, here's your grade, boom. It's not that simple anymore. The Common Core has even changed that. It's more about the whole. It's more about learning the process. So we have to do that. We will ask you to be good stewards of your resources. Turn the light switch off when you walk out of the classroom. Think about the organization you belong to. You know, you'll be asked to respect your peers and to be at school every day. Be at school every day. Students will not learn as much from a substitute as they will from you. I expect you to be at school every day, and I expect you to talk to your kids about being at school every day. We're going to make an environment in those schools that's good for them, where they want to be there. You know, and if the student loves that teacher and loves that school, guess what? You know it. They're going to be there. They're not going to miss it for anything, and you know what I'm talking about. They're going to even be sick and come to school because I'm not going to miss what's going on in Miss Stiles' class today or whoever. But we also need to realize this. Our school may be the safest place that child, that student is all day. Think about it. In 2013, Rita Pearson gave a TED Talk. You've heard of TED Talk. Every kid needs a champion. I'm going to ask you to be that champion. Let's take a look.
Classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? And it was difficult. It was awfully hard. How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class. Because I am the best teacher and you are the best students, they put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? We have to show the other classes how to do it. So when we walk down the hall, people will notice us. So you can't make noise, you just have to strut. And I gave them a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you. And so I gave a quiz, 20 questions. Student missed 18. I put a +2 on this paper and a big smiley face. He said, Miss Pearson, is this an F? I said, yes. He said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you on the roll. You got 2 right, you didn't miss them all. I said, and when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all the life out of you. +2 said, I ain't all bad. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in her desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, There were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. Can we stand to have more relationships? Absolutely. Will you like all your children? Of course not. And you know your toughest kids are never absent. Never. You won't like them all, and the tough ones show up for a reason. It's the connection. It's the relationships. And while you won't like them all, the key is they can never, ever know it. So teachers become great actors and great actresses, and we come to work when we don't feel like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh, God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you so much.
That was awesome, wasn't it? It gives you an idea of how our teachers are going to be this year. You know, you may not realize it, but you have a tremendous influence over our kids, over our students every day. The way you greet them, the way you show them respect, all of that matters. You are their role model. Everyone in this room is a role model for them. Your classroom and your school should be a sanctuary for our students, a safe place. I'm going to share with you right now. Before I do that, y'all know that I'm sort of fanatical over the way schools look, right? On the outside. I know that you all the principals know that anyway, and probably the rest of you do. So I'm a little bit fanatical on how they look because you know what? I want when our kids come up to our schools, I want them to be proud to walk in that school. I want them to say, "Man, that looks good." And so I want to thank Aramark. Aramark, I have really lit a fire, and they have really done a good job. Thank you, Aramark. I know they're here, and I want to thank them because they've done everything I've asked them to do. And they've been working really hard. And it's hard to get everything done that we all want at the last minute. But guess what? That's a beginning, and we're going to get better. So I want to thank them for that. And I want to share with you an analogy that will give you a vision of how I want our organization to be like. And it's of the 3 stonecutters. 2 men walking down the road, they come upon a construction site. And there's 3 stonemasons there. And they ask the first stonemason, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm cutting brick." And he's probably cutting brick better than anybody who could ever cut brick. And they ask the second one, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I am laying stone." And he's probably doing it better than anybody can lay that stone. And then they asked the third mason what he was doing. And he gazed up and said, "I'm building a cathedral." Think about it a minute. That third one understood that what they were doing was bigger than what any one person can do, was the most important thing in the world, and would last a lifetime, a legacy. That third one had vision. All 3 were great. I want you to be that third one. I want you to be the one who is building that legacy. What are we building? We're building the future of Baton Rouge. That's what we're doing. We are building the future of Baton Rouge. So I can tell you, this is important business, it's important work, and I'm just so proud to be here. Now I want to talk about ownership, and we're going to end up in just a second. I visited Westdale Heights Academic Magnet. Where are you? This was about 6 weeks ago, and I walked into school. Miss Edwards escorted 2 students up there and said, "They're going to be your hosts for today." We walked around. They were articulate. They were passionate. It was an incredible experience. Miss Edwards didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. They were just entertaining us with the awesomeness of their school. But then I saw a piece of paper on the ground. So I had a fanatical moment, right? I went, I see a piece of paper on the ground. So I'm telling myself, I'm going to pick that piece of paper up when I get there. But guess what happened? The students picked it up. The kids picked it up. And I turned to her and I said, "You've made it." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "The kids own the school here. We're trying, I want us to own it. It's got to start here. It's got to start with the principal. It's got to start with, then it's got to go to the teacher. When it gets to the students, folks, we made it. It means that they are proud of their school. They love their school. They don't want to be anywhere else. That's their school. They identify with it. That's the difference. So that little bitty piece of paper, yes, it's not going to kill anybody, but it represented a very, very big representation of how we want to achieve in this year. We want to achieve ownership. So these students identify with their school. There's no question about it, right? The kids are watching. They're watching us every day. So I want you to take a look at this video from Kid President.
It's time to wake up, people. This one goes out to teachers. Teachers and students. It's time to get our learn on. And we got lots to learn, too. I don't know it all, but I know a few things. Science. You hear? You take up space, you matter. It's just science, man. Don't be a bully. Don't even be a bully to the bullies. It just makes more bullies. We can all be awful sometimes. We can all also be awesome. It's time to be more awesome. And that's what it's time for. History. We gotta study it so we don't repeat it. But if history does repeat itself, now I'm gonna name my pet dinosaur Reginald. I just hope he doesn't eat me. We can't just study history. We gotta make history. And history's made by ordinary people. Ordinary people like you and me. And that guy. The world's greatest thinkers. Confucius, Albert Einstein, Justin Timberlake. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like me. But I put my pants on one leg at a time while I'm dancing. You can go by. Yeah. You're gonna be a though. Life's a school, and you gotta show up. You can't just sleep in. You can't be late. And you can't just hang out in the bathroom, that's girls. It's like Walt Whitman said, YOLO. Except he didn't say that, but you would know that if you would read a book. People, seriously, read a book, any book except the vampire ones. You want to change the world? You gotta know. What if Shakespeare didn't go to school? His plays would be even more confusing. To be or not to be? Is that the question? I don't know what question is. I didn't go to school. Anybody? Help me out here. I got a question for you. What are you teaching the world? How to be boring? How to make the world sad? No! No, you're not. We're teaching the world what it looks like to be awesome. No matter who you are, somebody's learning from you. Everybody's a teacher and everybody's a student. Look for the awesome. Teachers see things. They see when you're running down the hall. They see when you're passing notes. But they also see the person that we can all become someday. A writer or a speaker or Martin Luther King. Teachers, keep teaching. Students, keep studenting. That's not a word. Sorry about that. Here's to teachers that see the awesome. The homework is this. What do you want to teach the world? Do it. Let's make some history together because it's simple math. We're ready. Those girls are little loud. If their teacher inspires you, let them know. This is for teachers everywhere, so share it with them. We gotta make the world awesome. Somebody's learning from you. I'm out. Get to learn on. We're making history. I'm gone.
Awesome.
Everybody's a teacher, everybody's a student. That's what it is. I'm going to say the last few words here, but before I finish, I want to remind everyone, please do not leave when I'm through, because we're going to dismiss y'all in an order where you can stay in the cool air as long as possible. So I know you will appreciate that. So just stay here, Mr. Gary Reed, and someone else will come up in just a minute and sort of talk about that. But let me finish up by saying this. It takes bold leadership to make a difference. I'm asking you to be leaders in whatever job you're in. You know, you're going to make mistakes, but don't fear that. It's going to happen. We're all going to make mistakes. It's not that big a deal. Just back up a little bit and go down a different road. Just like my dad stepped out and did what he did, all of us are going to have challenges. We're all going to have times when we look back and go, that was awesome. That was awesome. I expect you all to succeed beyond your wildest imagination. We will have very, very high expectations, but I want to say this to you. In the history of this school system, it's been here a long time, in the history of this school system, only we, right now, I want you to think about it, in the history of the school system, only we will be granted the opportunity to move forward from this point on and make a difference in our schools this year. That's what I'm asking you to do. I'm going to ask you that we have one team, we have one mission, and we all know what it is. So I can tell you, it has been a tremendous honor to have served you for only a short period of time so far. I look forward to the best year that we will ever have, and they're going to get better every year. So again, I thank you for what you do. You're all just fantastic people. I know that. I look forward to seeing you in your schools, because when school starts, that's where I will be, in the schools. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you do. Please stay seated, and we're going to have a great year. Thank you all.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let me have your attention, please. All right, we need to do a little orientation. North exit, right there. South exit, right there. What I'm going to do is dismiss you by buses, so that the buses on the front will be the ones that leave first. This is an attempt to keep you inside in the air conditioning as long as possible before you have to get on the bus. Everybody appreciate that? I know you do, and I do too. Okay, what that means is you need to pay attention. I hope you remember which bus that you got on when you came over here. Otherwise, it is going to be hot on the way back. Okay, so y'all listen. I'm going to start with the south parking lot first. Remember, south parking lot. I need this group to leave, and this group only. Okay, I need 2396 Capitol Middle. 2171 Capitol Middle. 2393 Scotlandville. 2364 Scotlandville. 2347 Scotlandville. 2388 Scotlandville. 2287 Food Service. 2413 Physical Plant. 2442 White Hills, Brownfields. 2330 Baton Rouge High, and 2181 Baton Rouge High. All right, now for the north. North exit. 2402. And some of these don't have locations, so I hope you remember your bus number. 2402, 2421, 2427, 2361, 2179, 2328, 2172, 2344, 2389. That's the first group. A couple other things too while I got everybody. If you're in an automobile over here in the parking lot on the north side, you're going to have to go out the back exit on the Levy Lane, and law enforcement is not going to let you turn to the right. You're going to have to go left, so just be aware of that. And everybody else, just be patient, please. Tyrone, I sent you a text, but I didn't get a message from you back, so just call me when you're ready for me, okay? You got the groups coming out? Are they getting on the right buses? You see that happening already? And then what about the handicap area? You need me to call for those to come move those cars? Okay, I'm going to call them right now. Let me have your attention again, please. I love this part. Whoever's driving the Channel 2 vehicle, you need to go move. You got my buses blocked. I appreciate that. Also, there are a few cars right in this handicap area right here near the north side of the church. There's a few cars that's blocking buses too right there. I'm going to have to ask you to go move, and I appreciate that very much.